right, today, eat like a local pie edition. Lots and lots of pies. Not just for holidays, but get your pie for a Thursday. Get your pie for a friend that you're just going over for dinner. What's your favorite pie? Let's find out. Brandy,
Hi,
thanks
Chris.
for sitting with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
We go way back.
We do.
We're talking about one of my favorite things. Pie.
I think pie is the quintessential dessert that brings nostalgia and family tradition. Like, you can't help but see a pie, taste a pie, and not think of something in your past.
I mean, that's the fondest memory of my grandfather. Was almost on a daily basis. It was, boy, get in the car. We're going for pie and coffee.
Yeah.
And it was never cake.
Mine was all based around church gatherings, right?
Yeah.
After church, best thing all the kids look forward to was that potluck. And there was always those favorite grandmothers who, when that pie hit the table, like, it was dibs.
When you guys partnered with Proud Pie, let's talk about that for a second.
Proud Pie had been in business and operation, I think, for almost 10 years. Scott Chapman fell in love with pies, and it became his passion.
Yeah.
And he really dove into, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it the best way, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to make sure that I make the crust the best way that you can make crust. And I'm going to research what fillings are like and how they work and how they react in a pie. And I'm going to be an expert.
Yeah.
And he made a name for himself with Proud Pie in Katy and had lines out the door and just a huge cult following. And it's not us trying to put like a Dish Society mark on this. We have partnered with Proud Pie. We have the recipes that literally are, some of them hand typed, of what this man has made from a pie, right? That's what's in our recipe books.
Yeah.
And he is the person that we go to challenge that quality, to make sure that we're keeping that alive, because that's really why the pie is so good. So if you got a pie 2 or 3 years ago and you stood in line in that little shop, there in Katy, and you picked up your pie, you went home, you dug into that thing, that pie and that memory are associated together.
Yeah.
So it was really important for us that we kept that memory the same. We are still making them by hand. We are not doing this mass production. We don't want to do anything that changes the value and the quality that Scott created.
This is inside of Dish Society.
We are serving these pies in all of our Dish Society locations.
You know that this holiday has to be this, or this special gathering has to be this, or just, you know what? It's Tuesday.
And I want a slice of pie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why the slices are so important, in our front cases, and being able to just get a slice of pie, because sometimes just that one little sweet bite is exactly what you need.
You know what says love? Sending somebody a pie.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Yes.
You can do that through here. DoorDash and other delivery apps. You can just order a pie, send it to somebody. They don't even know.
Right.
What'd you call this one again?
Muddy Bottom.
Muddy Bottom.
Yeah.
Here?
This is our State Fair caramel apple. This is our wobbly turtle.
This is the over the top?
This is the over the top. So it's got a Ghirardelli chocolate silk filling.
I like that.
So it's got this really nice silky texture to
Yeah.
it. It's got nice Ghirardelli chocolate. We layer caramel sauce inside of it, and we put Heath bar pieces. So you have that toffee crunch chocolate, and then we top it with whipped cream. We put more of those Heath bar pieces on top. It's Ghirardelli chocolate. It's Vital Farm eggs. Like Vital Farm eggs are not cheap,
No.
right? They're not cheap, but my God, the quality of that egg, it makes the pie. It's real butter. It's cream of the highest quality that we're whipping fresh every day. So it's just all those little points.
These, you can tell the homemade look of this.
Sure.
You can go to a place, they've got thousands of pies set up, they've been stamped, they've been filled, they've been baked, and then you get to something that looks like this.
Right. This is what we really should be talking about.
I need you to walk me through this,
Okay.
pretty much, because that looks insane.
And if you wanted to understand the line of Scott's childhood to him becoming what he would consider a master pie baker, this is the pie that changed his life. So he grew up in New York. He's up there in the north, and he moves to Tennessee, and he starts having Southern food. He made friends with a friend of his mom, and he saw her making all these pies. And at 8 years old, this was the pie that changed his life. This is Miss Daisy's cookbook, pie cookbook.
Okay.
It's a very famous cookbook. This is Miss Daisy's fudge pie. He stood up on a little step stool and he learned how to make this pie. And this pie is absolutely delicious. If you like fudgy, chocolate, brownie, it's got the crisp top, it's got the gooey center, it's all baked in a pie shell. Like, you really can't get anything better. In my opinion, it's become one of my favorites.
I'm one of those like drive-by grazers.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go by and break off all these little pieces and act like nobody, they came that way.
Sure.
My wife's gonna be like, "What happened to that pie?" I'd be like, "It was all cracked up before it started."
Lindsay, it's fine.
I'm
It's
kind of cleaning it
fine.
up here. How many pies are you making? How many different styles?
We're making 9 different flavors. We will periodically through the different holidays bring and introduce other pies. So for instance, in Thanksgiving, we focused on pumpkin pie. We've got a coconut cream pie. Ugh, it's so good. Chocolate silk.
All right, I'm gonna need to try that. I'm also not a good pie cutter.
We've had a lot of questions on like how do I cut a pie? There are tricks that I can tell you to cut this pie so you have perfect whipped cream. You know, you get a knife nice and hot and some water and it makes perfect cuts. You can use a pie cutter, which we use, right? So
Smart.
we do a pie marker because we want to make sure we get 6 perfect slices out of this. When you're at home and you're just having a pie, like you're gonna grab a paring knife or a butter knife out of it.
When we got people over, whatever, if I'm not like plating it and cutting it, then I put the pie on the table, I put a stack of plates, and then I cut myself a little slice.
Yep.
And then, because somebody's always going to be like, "I want the small slice." What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, what do you say?
If I use a pie thing, then it's 6.
Yeah.
I'm not. So here's a knife.
Yeah.
Here's a pie.
You cut the slice that you want out
It's
of it.
self-serve. Do your own thing.
So my only thing that I do like to do is I like to do a little twist around that little crust,
See, that's
right?
smart.
Just to kind of make sure that we're loose and that I'm not gonna mess anything up. And then really you just gotta kind of go for it. This is always the best part. This is the big reveal, right? So we're gonna give you a little slice there. I'm gonna take a little slice too, just because I feel like no one should eat pie alone.
Agreed. I think that's why my grandfather always said, "Let's go get pie," because he would do it by himself. If he
Yeah,
had to.
but how awesome is that for you to have that memory,
Amazing.
right? Well, see, the other thing that's great about this one, I encourage you to eat that pie like that.
That's so good. Texturally, it's delightful. And you said fudge, and you kept saying that over and over again.
It's fudgy.
It's the perfect. if this is what brownies would want to be.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like this moment. You and I will now have this moment forever, sharing a slice of pie together.
And the crust.
I want someone to eat our pie and get down to the crust of it and be like, I'm eating all of this. This is laborious work, right? Every single one of these pinches were done with somebody's hands.
That's me. All right, so let's talk pie dough for a second. I have a dear friend of mine, Dr. Tran.
Hello.
Chemistry professor at Rice.
That's right.
As much of food as I understand, baking, 0.
Well, the good news is that as long as you know a little bit of science, you can never go wrong.
So this seems pretty easy because there's flour, salt, water,
And butter in the fridge.
butter.
So a cup and a quarter of all-purpose flour.
Okay.
Just about a half teaspoon of fine kosher salt.
All in?
That's
All
right.
right.
Whisk it up together. 1 stick of butter. Has to be nice and cold.
Cold,
and so
cold,
that's
cold.
the number 1 tip when making pie dough. You got to keep everything cold. So let's go ahead and cube this butter. So cold butter is super important because even though we know butter to have a whole lot of fat, it still has a little bit of water in it. And if the water mixes with the flour, you will form what we call gluten, right? Gluten is great when you start making breads and cakes because it gives you that elasticity, the structure that you want out of baked goods. But when it comes to pies, you don't usually want that. And so if you limit the amount of water exposed to the flour, the flakier and more tender the crust will be.
You just kind of, you take those cubes and then you basically just make them dance around in the
That's
flour,
right. You just kind of toss it in and then you slowly but lightly smush each one of those bits of butter.
Does the size, does it matter? Like,
Yeah, that's great. Yep, maybe a little bit smaller sizes of walnut pieces, but as small as pea sizes. I think that's as small as you want.
Okay, so that's how you get the flakier pie crust.
We're limiting the amount of water that flour is exposed to, and that's why we add water.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
last.
now we're adding water to it.
That's right. So you want to make a well in the middle.
Oh boy.
That's right. And in a
Well
quarter
enough.
cup, so it's about like 2/3 of that bowl. Lightly toss, because the more you mix the water and the flour, the more the gluten develops. You
Which
want to make sure.
gives you a tough crust.
That's right. And it's super ice cold, yet again, trying to make sure that the butter stays cold. And you know it's good when all the dough starts pulling away from the bowl, as long as it comes together.
So you can still see like the chunks of butter.
And that's perfect. We're gonna shape it, right? And then we're gonna actually wrap it all up, pop it into the fridge.
Yeah, that would
yeah,
make
for at
me
least
sick.
an hour.
An hour?
Yep. I know. You gotta let it rest.
Science.
All right,
So I would like to
let's
because
slide
this
this over.
this is kind of the pie that I also like, right?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna have a fruit pie, this is a fruit pie that I can get down on, right? So you can see the apple, but this little crumble.
It's the crumble, yeah. So
Caramel?
it's, you know,
Come on.
really simple. Yeah, this one's really great. So that little crumble on top is just a bunch of sugar and flour. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Like,
Get out of here.
so what I love about like a good fruit pie, like these are soft, right? And that's part of why, you know, we love these things. But if you look on the inside of that, like it's got the perfect amount of crust and apples and caramel and filling. And what really sends it over the top is being able to have that nice crumble over the top of it. These are green apples, so I really like green apples. It's the right apple for a pie because they have that perfect balance of sweet and tart. But it's the texture. This is how we would do it at home.
Yeah.
I always like the inside,
get
like
that.
just that little last bit of like stuff right there.
I'm glad you're doing that because that used to get me in trouble as a kid.
Oh, my dad always had a spoon sit next to it. He'd just come by and take a spoon out of it. So a pie was not a slice in our household.
Man, that's delicious.
There's a debate, right? Do you heat up pie or not?
Mm-mm.
You don't, right? All of that liquid, all of that sugar kind of comes out.
Then it's more like a
And
cobbler.
It's like a cobbler,
Yeah.
right? You know, these pies, you know, just a nice, cold, chilled slice of pie.
Thank you so much for sharing this with me today. What was it the lady said, let 'em eat cake? She
Let 'em-
wrong?
Let them eat pie.
Let 'em eat pie,
yeah.
baby.
All right, what to order at Proud Pie, which is conveniently inside of Dish Society. Wobbly Turtle, Big Texas Muddy Bottom Pie, absolutely. The Miss Daisy's Fudge Pie, the State Fair Caramel Apple Pie.
Pie is a passion. Pride is a secret ingredient. Proud pie, awesome. Cake, yeah. Pie, yeah. Let's go.
Up next, more pies.
Today, House of Pies. 6 locations around Houston. OG company, been here since 1967. It's not just a pie shop, it's a diner that has a lot of pies on the menu. 40 to be exact. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna try some pies, we're gonna meet the team. Pretty excited about today. I like pie. Hey Chuck, thanks for having us. So let's talk about this.
All right.
So since 1967,
Correct. It's a Houston institution.
and then your family did something crazy in the 80s.
Yeah. My family, they decided to take this crazy jump into the pie business. We went from 2, the one on Kirby and one on Westheimer. Those are the 2 original.
And now you're 6.
Now we're 6.
I would say you did. It's in your blood now.
Yeah. As a kid on Thanksgiving, I would be in the back plucking strawberries for hours.
I mean, the loyalty to this place is pretty strong.
Very strong. Very strong. It goes back generations. It makes a lot of people happy, and it's become a tradition for generations.
I think I need to do this with my niece and nephew.
Actually, I have a funny story for you. I was in the front cashiering for Thanksgiving, and the line was down the block.
Yeah.
And this dad was in line with his son. His son was about 5, 6 years old. And he comes up to the front and he's like, I want 1 mini pecan pie. I was just very curious as to why somebody would wait that long for a mini pecan pie.
A mini one.
Yeah. And he was like, my dad used to bring me here when I was a kid, and I waited in line with him every year. And I wanted to give my son the same tradition. Like, how can you not feel warm or like you're giving?
It's special.
It's so special.
When you are an establishment that like is helping to create memories that are passed down through lineages of family.
Right.
That grandfather, that father, he stood in line, and then he did that with his son. And you know what? It's probably going to happen again.
For sure.
20 years from now.
Hopefully.
You know, when that young child has a kid.
And knowing that we have an impact like that on our community, it just means the world to us. All of our recipes are the original recipes from 1967.
Really?
And we have not adjusted them.
I mean, there's something to be said for that, right?
Yeah.
So, How many pies do you guys do? Because you're the house of it.
But the week of Thanksgiving, we sold between all 6 locations around 60,000 pies. Each location makes their own pies.
60,000
Yeah.
pies?
Yes. We literally bake 24 hours a day.
So how many pies do you normally offer?
We have over 40 different kinds of
Do you offer all 40 of those during?
every day,
Are you kidding me?
all year long.
You don't be like, this is the holiday pie section? You
No.
just free for all, let it go?
Everything.
Is there a holiday outside of these two that are like,
So on March 14th, 2015, out of nowhere there was lines out the door. And then somebody was like, it's Pie Day. I'm like, yeah, it's Pie Day, but we've gone through
it's always pie
plenty
day
of
like that.
pie days. And they were like, but it's 3.1415. And I'm like, oh my God. We're
See, I
about
would-
to get rocked today.
I would never put any kind of correlation to that in my life. But if someone said, hey, it's really cool, you should get a pie out because it's this, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. But our logo is the pie symbol.
Yep.
People go crazy for it.
Nerds. I love it. I mean, this is literally a house of pies. There's pies everywhere. The logo is a pie. You walk in and the big entryway is an upside down pie.
That's our Dutch apple.
Is this your favorite?
That is my favorite.
This is your pie.
Right.
What's the topping on here?
It's a butter streusel topping.
It looks amazing.
It's really good.
What do we got here?
This is our house favorite. It's called the Bayou Goo.
The Bayou Goo.
So it's named after the city of Houston. It's a layer of sweet cream cheese, crushed pecans, and a chocolate vanilla custard topped with whipped cream, chocolate shavings, and powdered sugar. But there's a secret to it. We get our hot vanilla custard and we put chocolate chips on top of it, and we kind of let the chocolate sit on top of the vanilla, slowly melt in it. After it cools a little bit, we swirl in the chocolate chips to where there's still some that are
Because if you
not
just-
completely melted.
Which is perfect because if you hot custard chips mix, you've got vanilla chocolate pudding
got
basically.
yeah,
You
pretty
know,
much.
But now you're giving it textures and flavors and a swirl, if you will. But I like the idea that there's still pieces of chocolate chunk in there.
I think you should just take a bite out of the whole pie. It's the only way to do it. You just got to dig in.
Just go in?
Yeah, you just got to go for
I always
it.
say just put it in your pie hole. So literally, that's delicious.
It's really good.
Crust is great too. That's why I am a pie person. Things like this.
It's really comforting.
All right, pecan with this layer right here is what makes it so delicious. That is fantastic.
Really good.
And it's not always that way.
No, it's our secret.
Yeah, well, keep it that way. Don't tell anybody. Never. Oh, that's gorgeous. Of course. Lemon meringue. I mean, yeah. That is so light.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's my grandma's favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see why. It's the Boston cream pie. Is it a pie? Is it a cake? So this is a cake. I do love cake, but if I'm going for cake,
This is what you do.
this is delicious though. I mean,
The best part's the chocolate fudge on top.
that is really nice.
Yeah,
Can't stop eating this. All these are right around or under 20 bucks.
correct. We try to be really reasonable. You know,
I mean, that's kind.
I mean, these days costs have gone through the roof.
Yeah.
We try to be understanding to everybody, actually.
I'd be okay if you went to 25 on that.
Really?
This thing is not light.
No, it's heavy.
This is like 6 pounds,
There's a lot of ingredients in there.
maybe 7. That's a heavy pie.
Yeah.
That's worth every ounce of 25.
You just want a place to go that's not going to break the bank, and that you feel at home when you're going.
That's awesome.
All right, up next, going to try something I've never tried before in my life and didn't think it was possible, a pie shake.
So one thing that we do that's kind of off the charts is we do pie and cake shakes. Any pie or cake that we have on our menu, you can turn it into a milkshake.
Anything.
Anything.
All right, so I'm gonna put this to the test. Coconut cream pie.
Done.
That's a thing?
That is.
Ice cold cream pie. Come on. So basically, I can have what appears to be a turtle cheesecake into a milkshake. Insane. Let's see this.
All right, we're gonna take ice cream, 2 scoops of vanilla. And then we're gonna go in with,
This is just ridiculous. Come on. So up into the beautiful mixer, the pie shake. Things I didn't think I'd see today. And so I feel like that other third of a slice of pie is going directly on top of mine.
that is correct. See? So now we're gonna top it with some whipped cream.
And then right in,
This goes right on top.
there's a half a pie on top of it.
Right. But it's really good. It's really special. You ready to try it?
You're fulfilling dreams right now.
I mean, it's not smart to come here if you're on a diet.
No. You didn't walk into the house of salads, you walked into the house of pie.
Yeah. You gotta come.
I mean, it's outstanding.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I just take one bite of things. I was like 8. Maybe 9. Pie shake. Do it.
What to order at House of Pies? Get you a slice of Dutch apple, some of the Bayou Goo. The coconut cream is awesome. You know what? Get it in the shake. Lemon meringue pie. I am a true lover of a buttermilk pie. The Boston cream pie, is it a pie? Is it a cake? Yeah, who cares? It's delicious.
Order pie, have it delivered, drop it off on your neighbor's front porch. Just be a good human. Share the joy. We did pie. What's next? Cake? Who knows? But did you film that? Yeah. God dog it. Oh, no, key lime. Oh, no. Yep. Oh, come on. Coconut. Because in my head, cheesecake is a pie.
Wow.
If you look at the graham cracker crust, which happens in some other pies, it is, in my eyes, a pie.
Interesting.
Now you can call it a strawberry cheesecake pie.
We actually have a strawberry cream cheese pie.
Why would you not?